Jace Thorne floated in deep space, alone, angry, and tired. His ship, the Rust Bucket, drifted slowly past a dying moon. The engines coughed, the lights flickered, sparks danced across the control panel like little angry ghosts. A cracked mug floated by his head, spinning lazily in zero gravity. He grabbed the mug and tossed it aside. Stupid ship, Jace muttered. I should have sold you for scrap years ago. The Rust Bucket was the worst ship in the sector. Once a proud cargo hauler, now it was a flying coffin. The walls were rusted. The life support groaned like an old man. Every time he hit the thrusters, something new broke. But it was all he had. Jace was a nobody. Not a soldier. Not a hero. Just a freelance pilot who used to carry goods between mining colonies. That was before pirates destroyed trade lanes, before Earth's distant colonies fell silent, before things got strained. Now, he was scavenging for spare parts and food, living day by day, fixing a ship that didn't want to live. He leaned back in his broken seat, arms behind his head. The only sound was the quiet hum of dying power coils. Suddenly, an alarm screamed. The lights turned red. The ship shook. What now? Jace shouted, hitting buttons. A surge of energy burst through the control panel. A blinding flash filled the room. Jace shielded his eyes and then she appeared. Out of nowhere, a woman collapsed onto the metal floor in front of him, covered in cuts, bruises, and glowing lines across her arms. Her hair was short and silver. Her eyes flickered with blue light. She looked human mostly, but her skin shimmered like it didn't fully belong in this time. She gasped and crawled toward him. You have to listen, she said, her voice weak. You die in 72 hours, and so does Earth. Then she fainted. Jace stared. What? The hell? He carried her to the medical bay, a small room with flickering lights and a cracked bed. He hooked her up to the old med scanner. It beeped uncertainly. She's not human, the scanner said. Or not completely. Jace didn't know what to think. She looked human, but her blood had tiny silver threads. Her heartbeat was slower. Her skin cooled too fast. And that suit she wore, it wasn't built in any factory he'd ever seen. Her wrist was a device. It was glowing, spinning numbers. He pressed a button. The screen showed a symbol. Temporal beacon, active, countdown, 71 to 2218. He froze. Time travel. That was science fiction. Illegal, dangerous, impossible. But she had just appeared out of thin air. He checked the ship's sensors. They had recorded a sudden spike, an energy pulse that matched old, hidden military research on timefold tech. It was real, and she had come from the future. He sat down beside her and waited. She woke 4 hours later. Her first words were, today's date, exact, no mistakes, Jace told her. She closed her eyes. I came too early. He frowned. Too early for what? She sat up, groaning. Your death. The destruction of Earth. The start of something far worse. I came to stop it, but I miscalculated. Everything's unstable now. Jace narrowed his eyes. Who are you? She looked at him. My name is Zara. I'm from the year 4912. In my timeline, you were supposed to lead a resistance. A fight. That could save billions. But you died before it began. Me. Jace laughed. I'm nobody. She shook her head. Not in the future. You were important. You changed everything. He scoffed. Look at this ship. Look at me. Eyes turned cold. Don't joke. Time is broken, and someone knows I came back. What do you mean? Suddenly, the Rust Bucket's sensors screamed again. A warning. 2 ships approaching. Unknown class. Armed. Zara's eyes widened. They found me. They're from the future. They're here to erase the change. Jace jumped to the controls. We can't outrun them. The engines. She pressed something on her wrist device. Then we improvise. Turn into that asteroid field. He stared at her like she was insane. That field's unstable, he said. She looked him in the eyes. So is time. Move. The ship dove into the asteroid field. Jace pulled the thruster lever hard, dodging spinning rocks and glowing debris. The old ship groaned and creaked, but held together. Just barely. Behind them, 2 sleek black ships followed. They moved like they were alive. No heat signatures, no engines. Just silent death. They're quantum chasers, Zara said. Not from your time. They erase timelines, people, places, histories. Why are they chasing you? Because I broke the rule. I brought hope back. Jace spun the ship sideways as a rock exploded beside them. The Rust Bucket shook violently. A pipe burst. Hope, he shouted. This doesn't feel like hope. One of the black ships fired. A pulse shot past them, missing by inches. The pulse didn't explode. It simply erased the asteroid it touched. Gone. Not destroyed. Erased, like it never existed. They're deleting space, Jace said. Jaw tight. Welcome to my war, Zara replied. The ship crashed through the field, dodging, spinning, breaking a few panels. Jace barely kept it together. Then Zara slammed her wrist device against the ship's console. For a moment, the rust bucket screamed in digital agony. Then lights turned blue, panels lit up, the ship's systems surged. What did you do? I gave it a future it didn't know it had. Suddenly the engines responded faster. Shields pulsed. Weapons, old and rusted, lit up with strange new energy. The rust bucket fired. One of the black ships exploded. Not erased, destroyed. Zara smiled. You see, even trash can become legend. They escaped, barely. The second enemy ship vanished when it saw its twin fall. The rust bucket limped to a dark sector and shut down to hide. Jace sat back, panting. Zara stared out the window. The countdown is still going. She whispered, we stopped nothing. Not yet. Jace looked at the cracked panel. 0.71 hours left. His ship had changed. It felt alive. Strange. And a time-traveling woman now slept in his medbay. A woman who said he was the key to stopping Earth's destruction. Didn't know what was coming next, but it was Big Dot and it had already begun. The ship was quiet. Too quiet. After escaping the black ships in the asteroid field, Jace parked the rust bucket inside a hollowed-out comet. The comet drifted far from any system, cold, dark, safe for now. Zara lay in the medbay, her eyes closed, but she wasn't asleep. Her mind was racing. She was checking data from her wrist device, watching the timeline shift second by second. And it was getting worse. She sat up fast. Her head hurt. Her hands were shaking. Her device flickered red. Jace walked in holding a mug of something that looked like coffee and smelled like fuel. You need to rest, he said. No time, she answered. He gave her the mug anyway. Then drink this. It'll either wake you up or melt your insides. Zara smiled slightly. Then the smile faded. She held up her wrist. The display showed 70 hours, 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Timeline corruption, 17.4%. It's already spreading, she whispered. What is the future? It's changing. Faster than I expected. Jace sat down across from her. So, talk. You said I was supposed to die, but I'm alive. Shouldn't that be a good thing? Zara looked him in the eyes. In the future I came from, you died a hero. But when you didn't die, the wrong people noticed. Who? Time Raiders, an ancient group. They don't want change, they want control. Jace raised an eyebrow. Why me? I'm not important, my ship is trash. Zara leaned forward. That's why you were perfect. You slipped through the cracks. They didn't see you coming. You weren't a threat. Until now. She tapped her device again. The hologram of Earth appeared. It flickered, glitched. The destruction starts soon. Not with weapons, not with war, but with a signal from deep space. A frequency that changes minds, corrupts leaders, turns soldiers into puppets. Jace frowned. Mind control. Worse, history control. Suddenly, the ship shook. A weak alarm beeped. Proximity alert. One vessel approaching, unregistered, fast. Jace jumped up. They found us again. Zara checked the screen. No, this isn't one of them. This ship is from your time. Jace ran to the cockpit and checked the feed. A sleek red fighter was heading their way. Old tech, scavenger design. Engines, no government tag, just a symbol of a skull with wings. He knew it. Bounty hunters, trouble, Jace muttered. Zara stood behind him. Do they know about me? No, but they know about me. That's Flint's ship. He's a scavenger. Captain, he hunts people who owe money. Zara tilted her head. Do you? Jace smirked. A little. The fighter hailed them. Jace, you old space rat. I tracked your signal for 2 days. You've been hiding in rocks again. Flint's voice echoed through the comms. He sounded cheerful. Too cheerful. Jace answered. I'm not in the mood. Flint, well I am. Because I heard you picked up some tech. Future tech. That means you're worth something now. Jace muted the comm. Zara whispered. He knows about the device. No, Jace said. He thinks he knows. But he'll shoot us just to find out. Zara stepped forward. Then we run. We can't. He's faster. And my ship's barely holding together. Zara looked at the dashboard. Her fingers danced over it. She placed her device into the ship's core again. A low hum filled the cockpit. Systems lit up with strange symbols. The ship almost sighed. Then something strange happened. The walls shifted. Slightly, the ship adapted again. Okay, Jace said slowly. Now that's not normal. Zara nodded. Your ship is becoming something else. It's learning from me. Jace grinned. I knew she wasn't trash. Zara didn't smile. Don't be proud yet. She's learning. But she's not loyal. Not to you. Not yet. Jace looked nervous. Wait, what? Suddenly, Flint's ship fired. One shot. A warning. Zara said. Time to go. The rust bucket jumped forward, its new systems glowing with blue-white energy. It wasn't faster, just smarter. Jace flew low across the comet's icy surface. He dodged a flare of plasma from Flint's cannons. He's got lock, Jace shouted. Zara leaned over and pressed a button on her device. The ship vanished. Literally. 1 second they were visible. The next, they were not. Flint's ship flew right past them. Confused, Jace blinked. Did we just? Zara answered. Phase shifted. Not cloaked, not invisible. We're in between. In between what? Dimensions. Only for 60 seconds. Jace stared at her. You're insane. Zara smiled. Maybe, but I'm from the future. I earned it. They dropped back into normal space. Behind Flint. A perfect shot. Zara activated the ship's old plasma cannon, now glowing with strange new energy. Boom, a blast hit Flint's engines. Not deadly, just enough to knock him off course. His voice shouted through the comms again. What was that? What did you do, Jace? That's not your ship anymore. Jace turned off the comms. Zara looked at the timer again. 69 hours, 48 minutes and 32 seconds. Timeline corruption, 21.8%. It's getting worse, she said softly. Jace looked at her. Tell me what I have to do. Zara hesitated. You're not ready, she said. Jace stood. I was just a junk pilot yesterday. Now I'm flying a half-alive, half-mutant ship, chased by future assassins, hunted by bounty hunters, and drinking coffee made from machine oil. He looked her in the eyes. I think I passed ready about 2 space jumps ago. Zara stared at him for a long moment. Then she handed him a small chip. Tomorrow we go to a graveyard. Whose graveyard? She said one word. Yours. The dead ship floated in space like a silent ghost. Black, broken, cold, no lights, no signals, no movement. It drifted slowly above a dead moon in the middle of Sector W9, a forbidden area filled with radiation storms and silent wreckage. Stared at the massive ship from his cockpit window. It looked ancient, but also ... familiar. Zara, he said quietly. That's a warship. She nodded. Yes, it's yours. Jace turned sharply. Mine. I don't even have working chairs on my ship. In the future, this ship belonged to you. You led the first resistance from inside it. This wreck is what's left of a future that may no longer happen. Jace didn't speak. She handed him the chip she gave him before. This is a key. The ship's memory core might still respond to your DNA or what little of your future DNA lives in you now, Jace muttered. This day just keeps getting weirder. They approached the wreck slowly. The warship was massive, at least 5 times larger than the rust bucket. The hull was torn open on one side, showing collapsed corridors and frozen rooms. Scorch marks ran across the steel. Bodies floated inside, twisted shapes, still in uniform, human uniforms, but not quite. Human faces. Some had metal growing from their skulls. Others had black veins and lifeless glowing eyes, like they had been changed. Jace tried to look away. Zara whispered. The timeline did this. The signal from the future corrupted them. They were your crew. You trusted them. The rust bucket docked with a side port. Jace stepped out slowly. The air was freezing. His boots clanged on the metal floor. The hallway was dark, covered in frost and shadows. A broken banner hung above the wall. Thorns, wrath, freedom, or fire. Jace touched the letters. That's my name, he whispered, while he looked at Zara. But I never named a ship. You haven't, she said. Not yet. They moved deeper into the dead ship. Most doors were stuck. Zara's device opened some with effort. Inside there were crew bunks, weapon lockers, shattered terminals, and dried blood. Too much of it. Jace paused at one room. It was marked command. The door creaked open. Inside was a large seat. Wires still dangled from it, like veins. A burned body sat in it, skeleton wrapped in armor. One hand still clutched the control lever. Zara stepped forward. She scanned the remains, her face turned pale. It's you, she said quietly. Your future self. What's left of him? Jace didn't move. He stared at the bones. I died. Here. No, she said. You became this. You were fighting something, but you also became something else. The signal changed you, bit by bit. And when it was over, you didn't know who you were anymore. He swallowed hard. What was I fighting? She turned the scanner toward the wall. A hidden panel opened. A memory core still glowing faintly clicked and rotated out. Jace stepped forward. Let me do it. He pressed the chip into the slot. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, light. The whole room lit up with ghostly blue holograms. A voice echoed. It was Jace's voice, but deeper, tired, angry. This is Commander Jace Thorne. If you're hearing this, then I've failed. The future has collapsed. Earth is gone. The colonies are ash. And the signal still spreads. Zara stepped closer. She listened with fear in her eyes. I tried to stop it, the voice continued. But the others, they changed. Their minds cracked. They followed the signal like it was a god. They weren't my crew anymore. They were something else. Images flickered across the room. Soldiers with glowing eyes, marching like puppets. The signal speaks through sound, through light, through thought, and soon, through time. It wants to go backward, to begin earlier. Jace looked at Zara. That's why you came back, he said. She nodded. To stop it before it infects your time. The recording continued. I modified this ship, future Jace said. Made it a trap. If the signal tries to reach the past, this core will explode. Time will fold. Everything in this sector will burn. A long pause. Then, final words. 2. My past self. If you're listening, don't trust the device. It's not just helping you. It's watching, and it's learning. The recording ended. Silence.jace turned to Zara. He means your device, doesn't he? She didn't answer. Instead, the ship shook. Hard. A system deep inside roared awake. Zara looked down. Her device was glowing red. That's not possible, she said. I didn't activate anything. The memory core spoke. Intrusion detected. Temporal beacon locked. Detonation in 3 minutes. Zara's eyes widened. The ship's future trap thinks I'm the enemy. Jace grabbed her hand. We have to run. They ran through the dark halls of the dead ship. Behind them, walls began to shift and groan. Energy surged across cables. Old defense guns turned to life. Blue sparks lit up the ceiling. Wrong way. Zara shouted, pointing right. I'm not a maze expert. Jace shouted back. They turned down another corridor, past a wall where future soldiers lay frozen in mid-scream, and jumped over a gap in the floor. Zara's device was shaking now, making a strange sound like whispering voices. Why is it doing that? Jace asked. It's trying to talk, she said. To the signal. It senses it nearby. Shut it off. I can't. They reached the rust bucket just as the countdown hit 034. The docking clamps released. Engines flared. The dead warship behind them began to crack, bend, twist inward. Zara looked back one last time. The warship didn't explode like a normal ship. It folded, vanished into itself. Gone. Jace watched in silence. His future just disappeared. But the question remained. Had they stopped the signal or just delayed it? Later, back inside the rust bucket, Zara placed her device on the table. It was dark now. Quiet. Jace looked at her. You didn't tell me everything, did you? She nodded. No. He waited. Finally, she spoke. In my original mission, I wasn't sent to help you. I was sent to erase you. Before you ever found the signal. He stood frozen. But I saw something in you, she continued. Something human, something strong, so I changed the mission. Then why is your device still trying to talk to the signal? Zara looked at the dark screen. And whispered. Because it doesn't care what I chose. It wants what it wants. Jace looked out the window, and in the distance, something pulsed. A single wave of strange light, coming from deep space. The signal had already begun. The stars looked sick. From the cockpit of the rust bucket, Jace watched the strange light ripple across the sky like slow-moving fire. Every few minutes, the stars would shift color, red, then blue, then black, like something was twisting. The sky. Zara stared at her device. The screen showed only one word. Signal detected. It was pulsing now. A beat, a rhythm, like a slow drum echoing across space. Jace whispered. It feels like it's calling. Zara nodded. It is. Not to us. To itself. It's waking up. They had followed the energy trail for 2 days now. Deeper and deeper into uncharted space, past broken satellites, frozen planets, and star systems that didn't exist on any map. Then, finally, they saw it. A star. Massive, old, burning red, like a dying eye. But around the star was something impossible. A black ring, thousands of kilometers wide, rotating. Floating in the middle of solar fire, untouched by heat or gravity. A structure, ancient, alien, and alive. Jay stared at it. That's not a station. Voice was soft. No, that's the source. The place where the signal first touched time. The rust bucket moved closer to the black ring. Sensors screamed. Systems flickered. The closer they got, the more the ship groaned. Like something inside didn't want them there. Then Zara's device unlocked a file. Entry passage code accepted. Jace frowned. Wait, how do you have access? Zara didn't answer. The black ring opened slowly. not with machines, but like space itself bent to allow them through. A tunnel of starlight formed between the spinning sections. Jace swallowed hard. Are we inside the star? Zara nodded. Not exactly. The ring is in layered time. Inside, space flows differently. They entered, and the ship fell silent. Inside the ring, everything was still. No sound, no movement. Just glowing structures like crystal towers floating in nothing. Lights blinked across strange walls. Symbols ran like rivers on the floor. Alien and human. Mixed, Jace whispered. I don't like this. They stepped out of the ship. The air wasn't air, it just existed. Zara's boots didn't touch the floor, yet she walked. Gravity bent strangely. Up and down had no meaning. Ahead was a platform, and someone stood there, a man. Tall, thin, dressed in a long coat of white metal. His face was half machine, half human. One eye glowed blue. The other was glass, cracked. His hands were behind his back. He didn't turn to look. He simply said, "You're late." Jace and Zara froze. Zara stepped forward. "Who are you?" The man finally turned. His voice was calm, cold. "I am a remnant, a memory of the first signal. The one who survived it, the one who became it." Jace took a step back. "You're the source." "No, I am the result." He stepped down from the platform and slowly walked toward them. "This place is not a machine, it's a seed. The beginning of the timeline you now try to destroy." Zara gritted her teeth. "We're here to end it, to stop the signal before it spreads." The man stopped. "Then you are already too late." He raised his hand. The walls shifted. Suddenly, hundreds of images floated around them, planets burning, stars collapsing, people screaming with glowing eyes. Earth cracked in two. Zara shook her head. "This isn't real. These are possible futures, we can still change them." The man smiled a broken, sad smile. "I once believed that long ago, but the signal doesn't speak to the weak. It grows through pain, through fear, through desperation. Your journey, your survival, even your rebellion, all of it feeds it." Jace stepped forward. "Why tell us all this?" "Because you still think you have a choice." The platform behind the man split open. A pulsing orb rose from the center. It was not metal, not tech, it was alive, like a heart beating slow and steady. Each pulse sent waves through the air. Zara's device lit up again. It began to pulse with the same beat. Her eyes widened. "It's sinking, it's trying to match the signal." She tried to shut it off. Nothing worked. Jace shouted, "Throw it away." "I can't." The man spoke again. "She carries the key. Not to destroy the signal, but to spread it faster. She came from the future." "Yes, but she also brought the future with her." Zara looked horrified. "No, I didn't. No, I didn't." The man raised a hand. The orb behind him pulsed once more. Suddenly, Jace screamed. His head felt like it was splitting. Voices, hundreds, maybe thousands, poured into his mind, all of them speaking his name, begging, crying, laughing. His knees hit the floor. Zara grabbed him. "Jace, listen to me." The voices stopped. The man lowered his hand. "You are the chosen anchor," he said to Jace. "You were always meant to carry the signal. Not by choice, by design." Jace looked up, sweat running down his face. "I'm not your messenger." The man leaned close. "You already are." Zara fired her plasma pistol. The blast hit the orb. It screamed. Yes, screamed. Not with sound, but with thought. Pain echoed through the entire space. The man shouted, "Fool. Do you think it can be destroyed?" Zara grabbed Jace's arm. "Run." They ran back toward the rust bucket. The orb behind them cracked. A dark light began to pour out, like ink in water. Reality twisted. The floor bent. Jace stumbled. The light touched his foot, and for a moment he saw his own body burning on a throne of metal, leading armies of glowing soldiers. He blinked. The image vanished. Zara dragged him into the ship. "Go," she shouted. The engines screamed. The rust bucket jumped out of the ring. Behind them, the black structure shook. And then it did something terrifying. It disappeared. Not destroyed. It folded itself into time. Gone, but not dead. Back inside the ship, Jace sat in silence. Zara looked at her device. It was now glowing green. She whispered, "The connection is complete. The signal touched you. It marked you." Jace didn't speak. He stared at the stars, and for a moment, they blinked in rhythm with his heart. The rust bucket floated in dead space. No stars, no light, no signal, only silence. Jace sat in the cockpit, staring at the dark window. His hands were shaking. His mind was full of noise. Since they left the ring, he hadn't spoken much. Zara stood behind him, holding her wrist device. It was glowing softly, in rhythm with his heartbeat. "Say something," she whispered. He didn't turn around. You said you came here to save Earth, Jace said finally. You said I was important, that I died in your time, that I was a hero. Zara looked down. All of that was true, but not the full truth. He turned slowly. His face was pale, angry then. Tell me now, all of it. She took a deep breath. In the future, yes, you were a hero. You led the first resistance against the signal. You built the Thorn Armada. You freed colonies. But then, something changed. She walked over to a chair and sat. You stopped listening, you stopped sleeping, you started hearing things. The signal touched you, and it didn't just speak to you. Jace said nothing. Zara continued. You became something else. The people you saved, you later controlled. You made the armies bigger, stronger. You told them you were fighting the signal. But by then, you were the signal. She looked up, and the worst part is, you didn't even know it. Jace clenched his fists. You came back to stop me. She nodded yes. His voice cracked. To kill me. She didn't reply. Jace laughed bitterly. And I helped you. All this time. I trusted you. I didn't plan to trust you either, she said. I thought you'd be a monster. But you weren't. You were kind, broken, but human. He stepped closer. So what changed your mind? Zara looked at him with tired eyes. You made me remember what hope feels like. A long silence followed. Then Jace said, but your device, it's still syncing with the signal. She held it up. I thought I could control it. That I was smarter than the system, but now I think it was always smarter than me. Suddenly, the lights flickered. An alert popped on the screen. Incoming transmission. Source unknown. Jace checked the signal. It's not a message. It's a memory. Packet. It's addressed to you. Zara hesitated, then opened it. A hologram appeared. It was her, an older version, wounded, tired, bleeding from one eye, standing in fire. The recording began. If you're seeing this, then you failed. You didn't kill him. You trusted him. And now the signal is inside him. You gave it time. You gave it shape. The countdown ends soon. And when it does, there's only one way left to fix this. Destroy the anchor. Jace stared at the image. The older Zara continued. I tried to help him too. I tried to believe. But the signal hides inside his choices. It grows in his doubts. He doesn't even know it's there. The recording ended. Silence. Zara closed her eyes. It wasn't supposed to reach me. It was locked deep inside the future timeline. Jace looked at her. You really believed I could change, didn't you? She nodded. I still do. Jace turned to the control panel, but his reflection in the glass didn't move. He noticed it too. He stepped closer. His reflection smiled, but he didn't. Zara jumped up. Jace, the glass cracked. A voice spoke from the panel. His voice, I'm not the villain, I'm just the future. The screen shattered. Smoke filled the cockpit. Jace gasped and fell back. For a second, his eyes flickered blue. Zara rushed to him. Jace, listen to me. Fight it. He shook violently, whispering to himself. It's too loud. Too many voices. Too much noise. She grabbed her device and stabbed a needle into his arm. A burst of light flashed. Jace collapsed. Silence. Returned. Zara sat beside him. He was breathing, but something inside him had changed. Later, Jace opened his eyes. They were clear again. No glow. He looked around, confused, exhausted. Did it take me? Zara held his hand. Not fully, not yet. But the signal is awake now. And it's inside you, Jace whispered. How much time do we have? She showed him the wrist device. 0 hours, 11 minutes, and 22 seconds. Full signal activation. Just stood up. Then we don't run anymore. Zara looked at him. Then what do we do? He pointed to the nav console. We find the last weapon. Zara frowned. There's no such thing. There is. Jace said. I saw it in the ring. I saw it in that flash. The ship with 2 hearts. One from the past, one from the future. He looked her in the eyes. We don't just stop the signal. We trap it in a paradox. Zara stared at him, then whispered, you want to fly into the fold? Yes, that's suicide. He smiled faintly. Not if I die before the signal finishes changing me. Zara hesitated. You'd give up everything. Jace looked away. No, I already lost everything. But if I do this right, maybe I stop it from starting at all. Zara whispered. And if I can't let you go? He looked at her. Then you'll have to lie again. The stars were shaking. At least, it felt that way. Jace stared at the growing blur on the edge of space. A storm was forming, not made of clouds, but of time. The lights twisted in spirals. Ships disappeared and reappeared. Signals screamed, then went silent. Zara checked her device. The numbers on the screen made no sense. Something is pulling the future into the present. She whispered. Jace adjusted the rust bucket sensors. Then he saw it. A massive object was phasing in and out of visibility like it was fighting with time itself. A ship. No, not a ship, a monster. It had no clear shape. Just claws of metal, long towers, burning engines that left trails of darkness instead of light. Around it, old satellites crumbled. Entire asteroids bent toward it like it had its own gravity. Jace's eyes widened. That ship, that's mine. Zara looked at him. No, it's not. He stared harder. I recognize the symbols, the armor. It's a version of my ship, but twisted, broken, from a future I never lived. Zara's face went pale. That's the Wrath Reborn. It was created after your full transformation. When the signal used your mind to build a new flagship. Jace stepped back. You said I became a leader, a resistance commander. Zara looked at him carefully. Double quotes, yes. But you also became the signal's favorite weapon. The screen flashed red. Locked target. Anchor detected. Jace pointed at it. It's coming for me. The Wrath Reborn began to move. That it didn't fly like normal ships. It slid through space, bending light around it. Each pulse of its engines sent shockwaves that made space scream. Smaller ships, half glowing, half broken, poured out from its sides. They looked like bugs made of glass and fire. Zara shouted, "We have to run." Jace shook his head. "We can't. It'll chase me anywhere. I'm the target." She turned to him. "Then we hide you." How she hesitated, then held up her device. "I can bury your presence. Trick the signal, but it'll hurt and it'll change you. You may lose memories." Jace nodded. "I'd rather lose memory than lose the galaxy." Zara activated her device. Blue light wrapped around Jace. His eyes rolled back. He gritted his teeth. His skin flickered like something underneath was fighting to stay alive. "Hold on!" Zara yelled. The rust bucket shook. The Wrath Reborn had arrived. Its voice entered their systems. Anchor found. Sinking commencing. Zara screamed. "Almost done." Then, silence. The rust bucket disappeared from the Wrath Reborn's sensors. That it simply vanished. The enemy's ship paused, confused its command. AI searched, scanned, analyzed, but the anchor. Jace was gone. For now, inside the ship, Jace lay on the floor, breathing hard. Zara sat beside him, tears in her eyes. "You okay?" He looked at her. "Who are you?" She froze. "What?" He stood slowly, looking around. "This ship, it's mine, right?" Zara's heart dropped. "You don't remember me." Jace blinked. "I remember a voice, a war, a light, but not your face." Her hand trembled. "It worked. You're hidden, even from yourself." She helped him sit. "You're a pilot. This is your ship. We're being hunted." Jace looked out the window. "By that thing?" She nodded. "Yes, and we'll fight it." He gave a tired smile. "Sounds like a bad plan, but okay." Outside, the Wrath Reborn turned slowly. Its sensors were blind, but its hunger was growing. Inside its dark control chamber, something moved. Not metal, not machine. A figure sat on a throne of burning wires. His eyes glowed blue. His skin was half metal. He smiled, and he spoke 3 words. "He's still mine." Time was bleeding. That's how Zara described it. The stars flickered. Clocks stopped. Shadows moved before the people casting them. In deep space, near the dead moons of Craven 12, a quiet storm was forming, but it wasn't made of wind. It was made of time itself. Inside the rust bucket, Jace stood at the center of the ship, staring at his hands. "I don't know who I am anymore," he said. Zara nodded. "That means the device worked. You're hidden from the signal, but also from yourself." He touched his chest. "But something's still there, like a weight. Like I'm holding a war inside me." She sat beside him and opened a hologram. "Because you're still the anchor. The signal is trying to reach you, whisper to you, bend you." Jace looked up. "Then let's stop it. For good." Zara stared at him. "There's only one way." She showed him the plan. A map unfolded, a broken star system caught in a time fracture at the center. The Cradle, an ancient research station lost during the first war with the signal. It floated in a pocket between time streams. Dangerous, unstable, forgotten. Jace blinked. "That place is still real." Zara nodded. "Yes, and it's the only place where time can be locked. Frozen. We can trap the signal there, seal the loop, but it comes with a price." He didn't ask what price, he just said, "Show me how." They jumped into fractured space. The moment they arrived near the Cradle, the ship trembled. Time didn't move forward anymore, it spun in circles. 1 second Jace was standing, the next he was already across the room. Lights flickered in patterns that made no sense. Zara stabilized the ship using her device, syncing its field with the storm. Then they saw it. The Cradle, a station made of shattered rings, floating over a frozen white dwarf. Its metal was rusted, scorched by time. yet still pulsing with energy. Jace whispered, "That place looks like it died 1,000 times." "It did," Zara said. "And now it can kill the signal too." They docked at a broken port. Inside, there was no gravity, no air, no life, only echoes. They moved carefully through dark halls filled with broken screens, ghost data, and shadows that didn't belong. Jace felt a pulse in his chest, faint, but growing. The signal was close. Zara stopped at a large control room. "This is it," she said. The chamber had 3 chairs, each with strange devices wired to a central crystal core. "What is this?" Jace asked. "A loop trap," she said. "It can create a repeating second, a single moment in time that never ends. Anything caught inside it, is frozen forever." Jace stared. "You want to trap the signal here?" Zara nodded. "Yes, and only you can lure it inside." Jace looked at the 3 chairs. "Why 3? Zara hesitated. "Because I'm going." "With you?" He turned sharply. "No," she held up her device. "You can't trigger the loop alone. It needs two synced minds, one from the future, one from the present. You anchor the signal, I lock the gate." He clenched his fists. "You won't survive it." She smiled softly. "Neither will you." A long silence. Then Jace sat in the chair. "Then let's end it." Zara sat across from him. They linked the devices. The chamber hummed. Lights activated. Energy built like a rising tide. The loop was forming, but before it locked, the Wrath Reborn arrived. A hole tore open in space above the cradle. The massive warship phased through, roaring like a beast. Its voice shattered every comm channel. "You are mine," Zara shouted. "We're out of time." The chamber lights began to dim. Outside, the Wrath Reborn launched an energy spear, a black beam of compressed future time. It struck the cradle's outer ring. The station shook violently. "Alarms!" screamed Zara. Grabbed Jace's hand. "The loop is ready. Pull it in." Jace focused. He closed his eyes. He called it, from deep inside his chest. From the part of his mind he had locked away, he opened the gate, and the signal answered. A sound echoed through the station. Not music, not voice, a feeling, every memory. In Jace's head twisted, past, present, future, his first ship, his mother's voice, Zara's hand in his, the last battlefield, the first death. Everything collided, and then everything stopped. Inside the loop chamber, time froze. The Wrath Reborn stopped mid-attack. The black beam halted in space. Zara screamed in pain. Blood ran from her nose, but she held the controls. "Tight, we have it," she cried. "It's in the loop." Jace's body glowed with blue fire. His mind was burning. He saw himself on 1,000 thrones, 1,000,000 wars, whole galaxies kneeling, and in all of them, the signal behind his eyes. "I won't be your weapon," he whispered. He triggered the final lock, and the loop closed. The cradle exploded with light, but it didn't destroy. It sealed. The entire station folded into a second that would never end. The Wrath Reborn, its dark AI, its future soldiers, all caught in the trap, forever repeating, never escaping. The universe shook once, then went silent, and Jace was gone. Later, somewhere far away, on a peaceful moon, a small ship landed. Zara stepped out. She looked different, older, quieter. Her wrist device was dark. She looked at the sky. And whispered, "He saved us." She held something in her hand, a broken piece of his chip. Then she walked into the light. Peace was a strange thing. After war, after death, after time itself cracked open, silence felt almost wrong. Zara now lived on a quiet moon, far from the central systems. No cities, no machines, just wind, rock, and stars. Each morning, she walked to the ridge and looked up at the sky, and every time, she wondered, was he still out there? The cradle had vanished from all timelines. The Wrath Reborn was gone. So was the signal. The galaxy had returned to normal, or at least, a version of it that didn't burn. Colonies rebuilt, communications were restored. Earth, now aware of the truth, built safeguards against time interference. But to the public, no one ever knew what really happened. They didn't know that one man, half lost in memory, half claimed by something cosmic, had faced the thing, hiding behind reality itself, and stopped it. Zara hadn't spoken his name in years. Part of her feared that even saying it might bring the signal back. But deep down, she missed him one day. The sky opened. Not with war. With light. A ripple passed over the moon. Silent, gentle. Her wrist device, thought to be dead, lit up once more. Only one message appeared. Echo received. She ran to the crash beacon. She had hidden underground, a relic of the Rust Bucket's final logs. The screen blinked once, then replayed a voice, not a recording, a live signal. Jace. If anyone gets this, I don't know where I am. Time here doesn't move. I see versions of myself. Futures that never happened. A child who never left Earth. A warlord who destroyed Mars. A farmer on Titan. And somehow, they're all me. Zara's breath caught in her throat. The loop is holding. The signal's trapped with me. But sometimes, I hear your voice. Zara, I see your face. You told me I could be more than just a weapon, so I left something behind. The message cut out, and in its place, coordinates appeared. Impossible ones. A location outside of space-time. She blinked, stunned. Could it be? Zara made a choice. She rebuilt the rust bucket using hidden tech, faster engines, stronger shields, and one device no one knew. She still had a timepiercer. One last illegal jump. She locked in the coordinates. The ship trembled. The star screamed, and then she vanished. Somewhere outside normal space, there was a loop, a moment frozen forever, but just outside its edge. In the cracks between seconds, a man waited. Not aged, not dead, just paused. Jace. He stood on a platform of light, staring into the loop, watching himself again and again lead the war, stop the signal, sacrifice everything. But behind him, a door opened, soft footsteps echoed. He turned, slowly, and saw her. Zara. Alive, real. She stepped forward and smiled. You said you left something behind. She whispered. He smiled back. I hoped you'd find it. They stood there, not in past, not in future, just present. And for the first time in 1,000 cycles, they were free. Epilogue. Years later, children ran through the green fields of the new Earth colony. One boy stopped and pointed at the sky. Look, he shouted. A star just blinked. His sister laughed. Stars don't blink, dummy. But high above them, in the sky, no one watched closely anymore. A signal echoed one last time. Soft, proud, human.